All right, thank you very much, Clerk's Department. Nice to see everyone here. Members of council, welcome to the Monday, January the 29th, 2024 council meeting. And I would like to point out that we are now meeting in our temporary locations, which are here at the Stainer Community Center. We're in the North Hall of the Stainer Community Center. It's been great to finally get a secondary home for us to move to. For your viewing pleasure, we have brought back the old owl camera. Those that have been watching council for some time may know that this was the camera that we replaced, which gave us really good pictures in the other chamber. But we've brought back the owl camera for now, so this is the one that we'll be using at this time. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy the meetings. Members of council, we also have our staff here. The staff are all located over here to the right of council. And they've got a long table here set up, and there's all the staff, or most of the staff are here. And we do have an audience with us as well here in this room. And we have one audience member with us here from the public, so we appreciate that. And members of the media are sitting right at the back of the room, keeping good track of us. So I'm giving the setting here so everybody knows where we are and what we're doing. This is the Stainer Community Center. And so this room will be used for our council meetings, and we're unsure, but I think it's also going to be for Committee of Adjustment. Is that right? The clerk is confirming Committee of Adjustment will probably be moving up here as well. All right, council, welcome. I'll read the land acknowledgement and we'll carry on with our regular council business. The land acknowledgement. I'd like to begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards and caretakers of the land. We acknowledge that Clearview Township is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Tietzanati, and the Wendat, and it's the home of many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people as part of an intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships, and we ask the Creator for guidance in all that we do. And as always, as the mayor of the township, it's my honor and privilege to say the land acknowledgement, but also I say it voluntarily and happy to do so. Council, we'll move right straight to our agenda. I want to acknowledge that Councillor Broderick, while he is with us virtually, he is not with us in person. I hope, John, that you're feeling much better and that you don't pass that around your fine family. So you stay well, John, and hopefully you'll be able to participate in the meeting as well virtually. So all of us are here present. And so we'll start with item 1 is our closed session. We did not have a closed session today. Item 2 is the approval of the agenda. So council, I'll read the motion and I'll look for a mover and seconder. Recommendation, be it resolved that council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the agenda dated January 29, 2024 as presented. A mover and seconder, please. Deneen and Walker. Thank you very much. Any questions on the agenda? Seeing no questions, I'll call the motion. All in favor? And that carries unanimously. Thank you. Disclosure, pecuniary interest, and general nature thereof. Has anybody got any disclosures for today's council meeting? Any items? All right, seeing none, if you have something that comes up during the meeting, please bring it forward. We'll deal with it right away. Item 4 is our public participation period. Again, I just want to remind the public that we will be continuing our public participation period while we're here at the Stainer Community Center. The podium is here, the microphone is here, and I wonder if there's anybody from the public who would like to come forward. No? I don't think so. I don't see any. So at this time, I'll just check with the deputy clerk. Deputy clerk, did we receive any electronic participations? Okay, thank you. We record that there's been none there either. So council will move on from public participation to deputations presentations. We have no items. And item 6 is public meetings. We have no items in public meetings. We'll go right to 7, which is approval of the council meeting minutes. We have 3 to approve, council, a couple of special meetings and a planning meeting. So this is the recommendation. I'll look for a mover and seconder. Be it resolved that council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the minutes of the December 11, 2024 joint special meeting of council and the January 15, 2024 council meeting as presented, and the January 17th public planning meeting minutes. Is that correct? It wasn't in there, but I added that extra line in there because we do have 3 lines. All right, I'll look for a mover. That'll be the deputy mayor and Mr. McCarthy. Yes, ma'am. January, you were not there, Deputy Mayor, so I'm going to move to Mr. MacArthur. You can be the mover, and seconded by Mr. Beelan. Thank you very much. You're at the other 2. You were at the other 2. Thank you very much. Any questions on the meeting minutes? No, seeing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you very much. Business arising from the minutes, if any? Anybody got any business? No, seeing none. We'll move straight to our communications from the mayor. There is no specific communications from the mayor other than to advise that I'll state it a little later on, but I was honored to represent Councillor Broderick at the Clearview Chamber of Commerce Awards banquet or awards dinner that was held here on Saturday night. It was a lovely event, and Mr. Broderick, it was my pleasure to represent you. Sorry you had a cold, but or not feeling well, but I was happy to be there. And council will be moving to, or sorry, the mayor and the deputy mayor will be going to county council. And that's our big meeting tomorrow, which will kick us off with a lot of fun tomorrow. Do you have anything you want to add, Paul?
Thank you, Your Worship. No, we have not, since our last meeting, I think we had everything covered. I've been away. I also am aware that the AGM for the G&E was held on Saturday night, which I volunteered to go to if they needed a guest speaker, but I was not.
I wasn't able to make that.
I know, well, they asked, I said I would go if you couldn't, but anyways, they didn't need it, so that was fine, but they had a very good meeting, and that's the last thing I can tell you about.
Great. Okay. Well, I look forward to the county meetings, and additionally, I'll be attending on Wednesday the age-friendly awards that are happening at the county museum. That'll be happening at the county museum on Wednesday afternoon, so I'm going to attend that. Okay, council, we're going to go to our ward reports. Mr. Broderick, my little arrow in the other council chamber was pointed towards you. So John, I'll give you a second. Would you like to start with your ward report?
Thank you, Your Worship. January 16th, I attended the Clearview Chamber of Commerce regular meeting with our very own Mayor Measures as our feature speaker. And thank you very much for that, Mayor Measures. That was well done. January 17th, attended the Clearview Council special planning meeting. The 19th, attended the Sunnydale Hall board meeting. And on the 21st to the 23rd, attended the Roma conference in Toronto. It was quite a full agenda. On Saturday night, January 26th, Clearview Chamber of Commerce held its annual awards evening with Melanie Case as our MC and entertainment from Jess Bowman. And as the mayor already alluded to, as a result of an unexpected illness, I was unable to deliver the opening speech. And I wish to express my heartfelt thanks to Mayor Measures, who graciously stepped up and performed that duty. From all reports I've heard to date, the evening was a great success, and planning for next year's event will begin shortly. That is it for me.
All right. Thank you very much, John. I hope you're feeling well. We're going to go to Councillor MacArthur. Hello, Robert.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's nice to get back into the swing of things here in January. It's hard to believe January is almost over, though. So, yeah, as Councillor Broderick said, we had a good planning meeting there in January and for the official plan and got a lot of good input. I attended the log cabin meeting last week in Creemore, and we got a couple of good events lined up there for the summer as well. Got an inquiry for a family. They donated the family wickered cradle that was used in the original house way back when, and they're going to have their family reunion in the log cabin this year. So that was kind of a nice piece of history to hear. And also attended Roma with most of the rest of the council here, and had some very good input. I think rural Ontario is maybe starting to get recognized at the upper levels. Thank you.
Good point. It was a very well talked about topic. Paul, would you like to go next, or nothing to add tonight? All right. Thank you very much. Councillor Janine.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just attended Roma with everyone and thoroughly enjoyed being there. That was my first time to Roma, and it was, as Councilor MacArthur said, rural Ontario weekend. And I
Excellent. Thank you. Counselor Beelan.
Thank you, your worship. Let's see, January 16th, we had a Station on the Green meeting where we reviewed some small hall activities for this fall. January 17th, I attended the Crime Stoppers flag raising, which was new to me. We learned a bit about Crime Stoppers. I attended the planning meeting at night where we reviewed the strategic plan. January 21st to 23rd, attended the Roma in Toronto. I thought it was really good. Lots of ideas kicked around for and problems that were looked at, but as again, very few solutions. I did find out or attend the IESO presentation. There seemed to be a lot of municipalities opposed to the battery energy storage systems. January 24th, the Brentwood Hall had a meeting where we reviewed the small hall activities for this fall. And a reminder, Winterama is this February 2nd to 4th, this Friday to Sunday. That's it.
Look forward to seeing you there and all the members of council at Winterama. Thank you. Mr. Walker.
Thank you, your worship. January the 16th, we had the library board meeting, and as a result of that meeting, just some comments with regards to the very positive comments actually received by the patrons with regards to our altering of our hours of operation, especially those that like the idea of the Stainer branch being open on the Sunday. There were over 40 patrons come in on the first Sunday, so a few programs and stuff running as well. So it's well received, the hours of that we have created with the adjustment of hours. On the 17th, the planning meeting. And then on the 27th, I was fortunate enough to be here at the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards, and to the Chamber Board, job well done. Excellent evening. Melanie Case, great MC. Jess Bowman, great entertainment. And to all those that were nominated and to the winners, job well done, and thank you for being a business in Clearview. That's it, your worship.
Well said, Councillor Walker. I'll just want to add to that too, that the chairperson of the awards was the chap who put together the video and had the video presentation of all the nominees. So I thought he did a really good job preparing that and making the presentation really feel lively. And it was great to see Jess Bowman here playing too. It's the first time in 2024 I had a chance to see her, so it was great to see her. No, it was a really good event, and congratulations to all the nominees and to the winners. And I will just highlight that the business of the year, as chosen by the Chamber of Commerce, was the Creemore Pizza Co. Both locations in Stainer and in Creemore, and that's a really active little business right there. And people might recall that the Creemore Pizza Co. had their little motorcycle with the sidecar in it in the Santa Claus parade. You remember that? That was that group. So it was kind of cute, that little motorcycle. They did a good job. So anyway, I just want to mention that, and to congratulations to all the folks that were there. Did you want to say something? Go ahead, Paul. You've picked
Just
up.
a quick question to Councillor MacArthur or to Walker. I've had a few people asking about that library, the hours change. When we did our ad in the newspaper, it said temporary. Is this how long is this being tried for?
This is a 6-month trial, which will be reviewed then in June. And we're hoping for comments from the patrons that use it, good or bad. We're looking for the positive and negative comments of the adjustment in hours, and then we will firm up those hours then at our June meeting.
Thank you.
All right, good point. Yeah, that's really all I have at this time. I want to just comment too about Roma. It was really good networking to run into various ministers. I certainly had the pleasure of having a great conversation with Minister Smith, who's the Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry. Had a really good conversation with him about about his work, as he's a former mayor and former president or chairperson of AMO. It was a good conversation about how he's doing in transition into this his new role, as well as being a minister. And then we had a good talk about the work at the Niagara Escarpment Commission, as I'm the commissioner for the area. So it was a really good conversation with him. And additionally, ran into Elisa Thompson, who knows our community very well. She's the Minister of Agriculture, so it was great to have a conversation with her. And one of our neighboring MPPs is Doug Downey. I also had a conversation with Doug. And nice to see him. And I did hear that Brian Saunderson was on the scene, and I think some of our crew ran into him, but I didn't see him. I never ran into Doug or to Brian, but I'm glad to see that he was there, and I know he was busy. So it was a really well worth attending event, and I thought the sessions were very well presented. So thank you for all those that attended. Council, I'm prepared to move on in the agenda. We're going to move to our presentations, I believe. Where are we at? Yeah, Department Public Works. We'll start with that. We got a conversation here about the Stainer wastewater treatment plant. It's about the blower. You may recall we had a lease or rent a blower for a while. So we've got a report here. I'll put this on the floor with a mover and seconder. Recommendation, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PW 001-2024. It's in regards to the Stainer wastewater treatment plant blower purchase dated January 29, 2024. And item 1, that council approve the purchase of the Airzon aeration blower for the Stainer wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $198,290 plus HST. I'll take a mover and seconder on this motion, please. Mr. Walker and Ms. Deneen, thank you. I know we have some staff here. Dan, is that to you or Todd, or who wants to speak to this? Or if anybody wants to speak to this, you're going to pass it down to Todd? Todd, why don't you come up to the mic? Because you don't have a mic. Or do you want to? Is Scott okay? Well, we'll see how that works with whether you can reach it or not.
A fairly straightforward report. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Your
Go ahead.
Worship, the council. You will notice in the report that Airzon was the second lowest bid, not the lowest. But when we take everything into account as far as the lead times for the equipment, it far outweighs the cost there at the $25,000 a month. It's about $16,000 difference, I believe now. So the Airzon is a very reputable company. We have them in Creemore wastewater treatment plant. We have been using the Airzon rental blower now, and Burnsides are confident that going to them will be the right choice.
Okay. Members of council, have any questions to Todd? Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Beelan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Todd, I'm just wondering why the 500 horsepower is so expensive. It's like 2.5 times more horsepower, but it's 5 times the price.
So you'll
Is
see
gold
that.
plated or what's for that thing?
So that one, I think you're referring to Councilor Bean, sorry, to Your Worship. Councilor Beelan is the current rental blower we have. So the issue with that is it's an Airzon blower, but it's not rented through Airzon. It's through a rental company. So we have to purchase it through the rental company. So that's just their cost for their piece of equipment that's an actual rental. So it's not buying directly from Airzon. That answers it completely. They're taking into account their loss that they would have if they were to try and buy that blower itself, put it in the package that it's in there now, and then the rental loss that they would have.
So how many horsepower do we currently use?
The one that there now is 500, but it's clamped out. It's bigger than what we needed, but this was the only rental we could get at
So
the time.
200 will suffice?
200 will be more than what we need. That's correct, yes.
Okay. Anyone else with a question to Todd or staff in regards to this motion? Yeah. Oh, yes, go right ahead. Sorry, I didn't see it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Todd, Your Worship, you said capacity, so that'll keep us going. Like, now, how much more capacity with the oncoming houses and whatnot? Or how many years down the road will this keep us going?
To Your Worship, Councillor MacArthur, the plant itself is rated for 2,500 cubic meters of influent. The issue we have with Stainer isn't necessarily the volume, it's the overstrength of the wastewater that comes in there. So this will be handled with what we have coming in, a little bit more. Residential BODs and overstrength isn't an issue. It's the other overstrength we have from industries and stuff. So this will suffice for what we have. Through our findings and collecting data through this last year to see if this would work. There is some other measures we can take at the plant that we will start looking into now for future if we need to, but this gets us through what we're dealing with now, and hopefully that's as strong as it gets.
And you stated in your report then about the BOD 5 level from 2011 to 2018. What's the average done since then?
Since 2018?
Yeah, or what's your latest figures?
I don't know if I have those numbers right in front of me, Councilor MacArthur. This was from 2022, and so 2018 to 2020, there was an increase, and the plant could not keep up at that time. I don't have a good answer for you on that. I'm sorry, I don't have those numbers in front of me right now. I could get them for you if you'd like and send that out.
You think that they've gradually increased?
They have, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you have a question too, Paul?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Todd, you mentioned about, or we'll call it the industrial users in particular, I will say, company like Reinhardt's. I mean, we had a great presentation there this year and learned about their operation. We have talked about other businesses within our community of doing on-site treatment or pre-treatment. Is that something that we've ever looked at for Stayner's situation? Would it help increase our capacity of our treatment plant, or is it something we can't participate in?
Yes, thank you to your worship, Council, Deputy Mayor. It has been looked at in the past. The industrial users are excellent customers to deal with. We've had a good working relationship with them, and they have stepped up and helped out a lot during this process as well with refining their treatment processes within the plant and the processes in general. I believe that in the past it's been looked at, and you get into a land, there's a space to actually do the pre-treatment on certain industries. So I think that is a challenge we have in Stayner from past history. We continue to work with them, and they do what they can with what they have. I do a lot in the last few years dealing with them.
All right, thank you. Just looking around the room, is there any other questions in regards to this? I'll just want to comment, thankfully, our staff were able to secure that rental. Council may remember that we had to have quite a discussion about that challenge that was placed upon us, and we were able to get the rental blower and basically keep the plant running. So I'm glad to see that we're finally at the point where we're making a permanent change and getting that system running. So thank you very much for that work. So council, you've got a motion in front of you. There's no further questions. I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? Carries unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Todd. We'll get you a better microphone next time. All right. Okay, council, we're going to move to Parks and Rec, Evening Hall Construction Update Contract Award. I know we've all been anticipating this and looking forward to seeing this report. Recommendation, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PCR 001 2024. It's a report regarding the Evening Hall Construction Update Contract Awarding. And it's dated January the 29th, 2024. And item 1, that Council, under the emergency method of the Township Procurement Bylaw 1720, award the Evening Community Center accessibility renovation and addition to Dom Construction Limited in the amount of $1,415,000 plus HST. And item 2, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to enter into a construction agreement with Dom Construction Limited. Can I look for a mover on that? Deputy Mayor, Mr. MacArthur, thank you very much. I know, Terry, you're here to speak to this. I believe we also have Baz on the line. I think that, yes, there he is. Hello, Baz.
Hi.
Nice to have you join us. And let's start with you, Terry. Terry, you want to outline where we are with this and perhaps through you and through the CAO, perhaps you could explain why the emergency method was being applied.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Your Worship. So yes, this is the next phase in the process of getting the construction and renovations completed at the Evening Hall. As council knows, the hall is presently winterized. It's properly sealed up and ready to be worked on again. So so after the termination of the first contract, the department is recommending to council to engage the second ranked bidder in the tendering process, Dom Construction, who have honored their original price that they submitted as part of the tender back in March 2023. There's a lot of information in the report, Your Worship, with reference to the process that's taken place so far and a bit of the background. As you mentioned, we have Mr. DeKanish on the line who can answer a lot of technical questions if council have any, and as well as further explain the financial component of the report if council so chooses. So this, we feel very comfortable with the with Dom Construction, who were in second place with respect to the work that they've done for us in the past. We feel very confident that they will be able to deliver as per the tendering process that was submitted. So with that, Your Worship, I'll allow Baz and myself to answer any questions that council may have.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Duquesne, hi, do you have
Hi.
any further comments you'd like to add in regards to the report that's now in front of council?
Good evening. No, Terry really it summed it up pretty well there. The purpose of the report is to move forward with the construction of the evening hall, so we can get that completed.
Okay. I'll look
And I'm here for any
yeah.
questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Kanish. Members of council, do you have any questions to the staff in regards to this? Yes, go ahead, Paul.
I get a little discouraged. We keep getting shoveled the bills for these projects. And I see we're getting an additional engineering consultation of 34,000. Should a company like Burnside not take part of this initiative to support us on this when they were the person who recommended this contractor? And they've been watching the project, and now we have to pick up all their bills as well. Can you speak to that, Gary, or Baz will
Yes,
talk to us about that?
Yeah, through your lordship, I could gladly answer that. So part of these fees were also ongoing communication between the previous contractor and where we're at today. So there was, as the report outlines, there was quite a bit of rework in that sense. Now we will be providing a report in closed session at some point in February that would outline these, I would say, deficiencies or basically reworks or those costs that are associated with that. More of a legal matter than it is to answer that question today, if that makes any sense.
Mike, I guess I'll throw it back at you, Baz.
Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to be compensated or collect any of the deficiencies, these monies because of we'll say the damage this other company has done?
Yeah, so through your worship, again, basically these damages are being looked at as we speak, and we will be able to provide, but yes, to answer your question, that would be basically revisited again in a closed session.
All right, we got that. Perfect.
Okay.
Good,
And
thank
I
you.
will say, Baz, I have all the faith in Dom Construction. They've done a great job in our last two projects.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much,
So is I.
Deputy Mayor. If there's nothing further from members, I just want a clarification again through Terry and or the CAO in regards to the use of the emergency procurement action. It's in the report, it says it's section 23 of the act. And so it's there, it's available. Just for the sake of the public to understand why we have this ability to use this service. Perhaps, John, you'd be able to help us understand that.
I don't have the specific language in front of me, Your Worship, but basically it's to make sure that there's no serious delays. If there's anything that can be done to get the project back up and running so the public can have use of it again, it's meant to move things along when you run into these circumstances.
Yeah, so you're right. And it's from the report, it clearly says the method allows the township to immediately acquire goods and services to prevent serious delays, injury, further damage, or to restore and maintain minimum services, protect the environment, and supply safe water, drinking water, etc. So yeah, it has a very clear use, and I'm glad that honestly it was written into our procurement bylaw some years ago. And it's unfortunate we have to do this, but it's important that we continue to do that to restore the facility. So thank you very much for that. If there's nothing further from council or staff, I want to thank Mr. Duquesne and Mr. Vachon. Members of council, there's a motion in front of you. I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, we're going to move on in our agenda to, we have administration. The CAO report has a report, CAO 002, healthcare spending account update. Recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report CAO 002 2024. It's in regards to the healthcare spending account dated January 29, 2024. And item 1, that council approve keeping the existing healthcare spending account in the amount of $12.50 annually as a health benefit for council members who do not qualify for the extended health and dental benefits that council approved at the December 5th, 2023 council meeting. Okay, I'll look for a mover and seconder to put it on the floor. That's Deneen and Beelan. Thank you very much. Good. John, would you like to speak to this, Mr. CAO?
Thank you, Your Worship. when we were reviewing the program and the qualifications to be a part of the extended benefit program has some exceptions, and not all counselors will be able to take advantage of that program. So we didn't want to see the existing program taken off the table for those counselors. And so that's why we wanted to make sure it was clear that it was remaining, and we would need a council resolution to do so.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions to the CAO? Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Thank you, John. Appreciate the work you're doing on this. I was under the impression, and I've had a bit of a discussion with the mayor about this, that the benefits for our group, our team up here, were going to be similar to that of the staff. And I'm not saying it's not. It's just we still haven't been provided with any of the documents to say this is what Sun Life is offering us. I know I talked with Tammy about it, and Tammy said, well, once you sign your papers, we'll get you paperwork. I still haven't seen it. So I'm a little concerned that that everybody understands what this package is going to give them and what it's not going to give them. I was made aware that we were always under the impression that we would get life insurance. We're not going to get it, it sounds like. So, there's certain people that the minimal amounts or can't qualify anymore for it. So can you just speak to that, John, a bit of my concerns?
Thank you, Deputy, and through you, Your Worship. So you're correct. The benefits are not identical to the staff. Sun Life does offer similar benefit packages for councils. So in the last request, we asked for health and dental. Life benefits or death benefit, depending on how you interpret it, is available, but it is a separate process. And if council wants that brought forward, if you have a motion to refer it to me, I will come back with a report on what those costs would be, and then council can consider it at that time. I think the maximum benefit that a council can get is a $30,000 life insurance policy. And it's a reasonable rate, but I'd rather bring it back in a report so you can take a look at it, so you specifically know what you would be voting on. And if you'd like to do that, I
I
can do it.
appreciate that, John, because, and I'd like to also, if we can, through Tammy, if we can get what are we looking at? Because we keep getting told, but I'd like to see it in front of us with a piece of paper. And then because there are some people who won't take advantage of this at all, and then the 1250, would work well for them. And the other comment I asked Councillor MacArthur before the meeting, I said, you're still employed, and a lot of them are going to be retiring in a couple of years and they lose all their benefits. So I think it's fair to everybody. Just let's look at this quickly again. We're not in a rush. We already said that this would be effective as of January 1st. So we can work forward with it, but I think everybody should look at what we're getting here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
Yes. Councillor Janine.
And I just want a further comment about businesses that might not be eligible, because the health benefits, health and dental benefits that we're looking at are null and void once you hit a certain age as well. So that has to be taken into consideration. So I'm glad they're considering keeping those.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Dean. That's my exact comments. We don't know because we haven't seen the policy. I can't go to my wife, who's brilliant on this stuff, and say, what do you think here?
Me too.
I think that's important. I talked to her about it, and we haven't seen it yet. So I think it's a little premature that we approve this. I think it's something we defer it until John can get a chance to show us in paper, this is what we're getting.
All right. John, go ahead. I'm just listening carefully here. Go ahead.
Yeah, this will help, maybe, Deputy, and through your worship. You've already approved the basic benefits right now that'll be supported by a final bylaw. This one here just guarantees that the 1,250 extended health benefit account will remain for those counselors that do not qualify. So you can approve that piece. I think that would just basically mean it stays on the table if you don't qualify. The other piece associated with life benefits or death benefits, however you interpret it, I'd like to come back with a report on that. What I could also do is we do have a handbook, but it's based on the benefits that are for employees, and there are slight variations from what Sun Life offers councils. It, not a huge difference, but it's enough that there is a slight difference that book hasn't been given to us as of yet. But if you want to take a look at some of the benefits on our existing process, you can take a look at that. It's not too far different, but there are some differences for sure. We could share that. But you've already approved all the other benefits, basically, is what I'm saying.
I think that's quite good.
Go ahead, Phyllis, and then I definitely want to speak. Be my turn next.
I'm sorry, but I remember the age of 70 being said that there would be no more benefit after that. That was a limit to wisdom, and some of them, that's why I thought this would be. Thank you, Robert.
Phyllis, you're at least 30 years away. So let's, I just want to state, I appreciate the work that the CAO has done along with Tammy, who's been very, very instrumental in helping to put this together as our HR rep. I think the conversation that we had was very clear that we were looking for equity between the benefit plans that were offered to the members of council and the benefit plan that was offered to our employee base. And so if Sun Life has a similar plan, as you said, that there are slight differences, as the deputy mayor said, I think we should see that. We should understand what that is before we sort of walk into everything. Now, council, I'm of the opinion that I think we should pass this resolution as presented tonight because it makes sure that it's absolutely clear that all members of council have the opportunity to opt in or opt out. They can make a decision as we move forward. So I think it's better that we move this forward tonight, and then we can make a second recommendation if you like. And I'd entertain it immediately following if necessary to get that there. Does that help, council? Council? All right. Yes, Madam Clerk. How about we do it as a separate one?
Yep.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Our clerk is very efficient over here and she's already preparing things like this, so please stand by. Council, if there's nothing further on the discussion specifically about the healthcare spending account and the report. Seeing none, I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? And that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk and the Deputy Mayor, would you like to make this motion? Sure. Yeah, we'll hear what she has to say.
Thank you, Worship, through you to Deputy Mayor Van Staveren. So it's a different recommendation, and currently it's be it resolved that the CEO be directed to bring a report back to council regarding life insurance option for council members.
I would like to amend it to show the differences available to council. I think, John, is that a good way of putting it? So that you can say, hey, guys, this is what you can and can't do. And maybe by that time we can get a bit of a printout to say exactly what Councillor Deneen mentioned about ages and stuff like that. So
I would suggest you should include the EAP program as well. It should be in there.
But we'll let John come back. He knows what we're talking about now, and we can.
Mr. Ferguson, you got any questions to that? In regards to what we're asking?
No, you want a comparison to what the council package will look like compared to the employee package. There are slight differences. There's not a whole lot. The 70 age category relates to travel benefits. So if you were to have a travel card out of the country, you can no longer get that benefit under the Sun Life program. You'd have to purchase it separately if you were to travel. There are some differences as it relates to the insurance and qualifications. So for example, you're restricted. So if one of your spouses has a benefit package, you can't get the extended health benefit package. I don't think that's restrictive with respect to employees, but there's rules that would have to be followed. So there's slight differences. They're not serious, or there's not a whole lot. But in order to fully advise you, I can give you a copy of what our handbook looks like for staff, but you'll also get a copy of what the handbook will look like for council.
Go ahead, and then I'll let.
I think that's exactly what I would like to see, John. That's great.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the motion on the floor is be it resolved that the CEO be directed to council regarding life insurance options and an EAP program for council members, and that the report also show a comparison of the council benefit package to employee benefit package.
Thank you. Mover be the deputy mayor. Is there a seconder on the floor? Mr. Walker, thank you very much. Anybody with a quick question on this? Seeing none, I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? That'll be unanimous. Thank you very much. Well done, council. Thank you for getting this through, and thank you again, John, for being patient with us. All right, we're gonna go to Legislative Services, Clerk's Department, regarding the council chambers technology quote acceptance. Okay, recommendation, be it resolved that council of the township of Clearview hereby receive report LS 005 2024 council chamber accessibility renovation technology quote acceptance dated January 29, 2024. And item 1, the council approved the quote submitted by Music Pro Limited in the amount of $59,474.08, which says it includes HSD for the technology component of the council chambers accessibility renovation project. Whew. Lots of words there. Okay, is there a mover and seconder? Mr. Broderick, would you like to move that? I'm going to accept Mr. Broderick. Thank you very much. Mr. MacArthur, are you the seconder? Very good. John, I miss you down here at the end of the table. You see, I'm going to have to, should get a monitor right there for you. Anyway, is there any questions in regards to this recommendation for the technology quote? Yes, go ahead.
Now, I'll direct this, I believe Sasha, if they're watching this. Are we missing something, or is there like $100,000 difference in the quote? Like, I'm looking at some of these quotes coming in, and we saw it with the, we're gonna see it a little later on with the building part of it. It's like, what are we, is it that far out, or are they that far out?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, through your worship to rest of council. So there is a big difference there. We did provide the scope to all the companies, but a lot of companies have a fit package that they like to sell to municipal councils and municipalities of their full service. So you'll see that some of these quotes, even though we gave them the exact scope of what we wanted, they would have added a little bit more in of their full package of what they are really known for and what they sell. So that's where you'll see the difference of pricing.
Thank you.
Right. Any other members? Well, it's going to change our technology in our council chamber once we return to the council chamber. There's no doubt about it. And the first thing is, of course, is that the camera quality will be significantly improved. So I'm looking forward to that. Any other members? Nothing further? All right. Well, council, you've got a motion in front of you. I have a mover and seconder. I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. And that carries unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Broderick, for making the motion. We're going to go to the next item, which is similar, council chamber accessibility renovation tender award. Recommendation be it resolved, the council of the township of Clearview hereby receive report LS 006 2024. It's the council chambers accessibility renovation tender award, and it's dated January 29, 2024. Item 1, the council award the tender for the council chamber accessibility renovation project to 1519448 Ontario Inc. and operating as Creative Concepts Construction in the amount of $133,057.50, and it also includes HST. Is there a mover and seconder to get this on the floor? Where are we at? Beelan and Deneen, thank you. Appreciate that. Council, I know we have Baz Duquesne still with us, as well as their clerk. So, Madam Clerk, do you want to speak to this first, and then I can go to Baz?
Thank you, Your Worship. To Deputy Mayor Van Staveren's point, you can see that there is a large spread in the different quotes and tender bids that we received. Baz would be able to speak more to that, but we're just excited to get this project moving forward, and we are just happy that we do have some quotes in here that are within our budget to move forward.
Thank you for that point. It is within budget, so it's still working out fine with me. Mr. Duquesne, could you help us understand sort of the spread in some of these, as well as the opportunity to pick local versus non-local?
Sure. Good evening. So basically, in terms of the spread, we did hold a pre-bid site review. So this was basically for all contractors to come and see the site before putting the numbers in. So not necessarily all the bidders had come and visit to see what they're basically getting into. So that could be possibly one of the reasons as to why the spread, a little bit of unknown. So that's one aspect of things. The other thing is that, quite frankly, some of the contractors could be just busy, right? So to basically get them from other jobs, that also could be another element as well. So that's with regards to the spread between the numbers that you see presented to you today. In terms of to you, Mayor Measures, with regards to local versus non-local, typically majority of the contractors that do get awarded do have their subcontractors most likely local, about I'd say 80% of the time. So I know that checking these references, they all scored pretty high. And then creative concept construction, which we are basically recommending today. They've had extensive work with the City of Toronto, as outlined in the report, and also they do have a crew out in Collingwood. So I hope that addresses majority of those questions.
Thank you. It has addressed it for me. Is there any other questions from members of council in regards to? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, Your Worship.
Okay.
The first one, kind of looking at the time frame. So this tender was released on the 20th, closed on the 12th of January. So through the holidays and everything, it was very short number of business days for these guys to get bids and quotes and whatnot. So that's my first question. Second question, addressing the highs to lows. So kind of my rule of thumb is you get what you pay for, and if you take the high and the low out, the average bid is 200,000. So I'm thinking that if these 180 to 207 bids are probably more the realistic price as to what services we're going to get. And to your point, a local, local guys are got a reputation, and I recognize a few of these names and think they have a pretty good reputation in Simcoe County. So between those two, I think we either need to, I don't know, the exact process. Can we go back to the middle four or the low tenders and have them retender, or do we have to open it up completely again, or how's that process?
Yeah, through you, Mayor Measures.
First, go ahead.
Yeah, through your Mayor Measures. So I'll address the first question with regards to the timeline. Typically, the scope of work for this is not big scope of work. So realistically, the timeline is more than efficient that we've given to these bidders to bid on. So they basically had about 3 weeks in order to do so. And then there was also that pre-bid site review, which gave plenty of opportunity to recognize what basically the scope of work would be in detail. So that would be the first question. In terms of the bid spread. So with regards to looking at just the three and retendering in that sense, we would have to retender the entire thing. So we wouldn't be able to just retender for just a amount of contractors that are presented to you today.
Nothing further? Or?
No, nothing further at this point.
Thank you.
Sasha, gonna
Sasha,
weigh
did
in
you
on
want to
it?
jump in on that too? Yeah. You got it covered? Okay. All right. Paul, I saw you put your card up. Did you want to jump
Yes,
in?
thank
I'm
you.
looking down the table. Anybody else?
Baz, I know you'll be the main lead on Sasha on watching this, but what will Ted Handy and Associates be playing in monitoring this project? Are they going to be the hands-on person with this project? Where does that go?
So they would basically be the hands-on and basically the drawings. They are doing what is in the drawings and checking all that. The more of the monitor control be myself. So that will be more of the heavy lifting on my end. More of the technical reviews in terms of the mill work, the electrical work, and so on. That will be taken care of myself and Ted Handy. And I just wanted to put one comment out there as well with regards to I understand the concern with the lowest bid and overruns and so on. And to answer that question, when I did my call in terms of the references and we've checked all three, one of the biggest questions that I had for the City of Toronto with Creative Concept Construction, are they within budget? And I was reassured that they are within budget, and sometimes they come a little bit under. So I'm going to hold that against them. typically my first meeting with any of these contractors, I say, I don't want to hear something called extras. So I'm well known for saying that.
And thank you for that, Baz. I appreciate you representing the township in that way. Thank you. If there's nothing further, I do have one quick question that's for the clerk's department and for Baz, and that will be, obviously, this could be quite disruptive to our building during the construction phase. And so will they be working after hours and or on weekends? Has that been proposed with the contractor, Baz?
Yes, to Mayor Measures. So yes, that has been discussed in our pre-bid site review. That basically, with regards to I'd say the heavy lifting at the very beginning, there's going to be a little bit of noise that will be either before or after working hours. They'll accommodate some weekends as well. Other than that, I think, after we're out of the 2-week spread at the very beginning of the project, things should calm down from then on. We also will have the council chamber isolated in the sense that there isn't having any the ducts all sealed, sorry, so it doesn't come into the staff and other people that are coming visiting our township. And their access, sorry, will be from the side of the council chamber, so they won't be entering the main lobby.
Gotcha. So they're going to come out of the
Emergency
south
exit.
fire door that we have? I get it.
Correct.
All right, that makes sense. I guess if we get some snow, we'll have to make sure we get that cleared for them in around that door. Okay, well, that's good news because I was concerned about the, first of all, the noise. They're going to have to do some cement cutting to create the channels for the technology to be installed in the floor. So cement cutting inside that building, I can't imagine. You would hear it everywhere in that whole building, I'm sure. So let's make sure that it doesn't happen during any type of business hour, anytime the building's being used by whether it be the staff or the public for that matter. Okay, thank you very much, Baz, for your work on this, and thank you for bringing it forward. If there's any further questions or recommendations, nothing? Members of council, thank you. You have a motion in front of you with a mover and seconder, and I am prepared to call the motion. Those in favor? Are there any opposed? Thank you. That motion does carry, and I appreciate the discussion here today. All right, council, we're going to move to our, thank you very much. We got all our reports done, I think. Clerk, is that right? Yeah, we did. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to our bylaws. Our bylaws. So first one is the council remuneration bylaw. Oh, well, there you go. Have to do this every year. Bylaw 24-10. Recommendation be it resolved that bylaw 24-10, being a bylaw to set the remuneration to be paid to members of council by the corporation of the township of Clearview, be presented and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on the 29th day of January 2024. Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor, seconded by Mr. Walker. Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor? And the bylaw carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 2411 is the Climate Action Advisory Committee Terms of Reference that was discussed before. So here we go. Recommendation. Be it resolved that bylaw 2411, being a bylaw to establish and adopt the terms of reference for the Climate Action Advisory Committee, be presented and read a first, second, and third time finally passed on the 29th day of January 2024. I'll take a mover and seconder, Mr. Broderick, and seconded by Mr. MacArthur. Is there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? And the bylaw carries unanimous. Thank you. Council, we're at notices of motion and new business. Anybody with any notice of motion or new business? Yes.
Just a little comment I'm going to throw at there, Mr. Vachon. Got a nice report the other day that the Horticultural Society, with the money that we granted them for the construction of the planters, they are utilizing Stainer Collegiate. So if they're talking to you, there are a couple of criteria like not full of soil and easy to move. Just keep your ears open. But I understand Stainer Collegiate is working with the horticultural to build them. So that's a win-win for everybody.
That's a great.
Those are the planters who don't know if we're in front of the our main office and that are falling apart right now.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were, gosh, they got to be 15 years old or older.
Well,
Maybe, I'm not even sure. They're pretty old. Yeah.
they've
Okay.
got some getting renewed.
Good. Thank you for that. Good. Does anybody else get any new business or anything else? Nothing further? Okay.
That's
Oh,
one of the things.
Oh, sure.
And for those who don't know, the money that has come through our grant committee, And it's been posted in the newspapers that we'll be, we're opening up for the 2024 season, we'll call it, for grants. So we do have 2 intakes this year. Please make people aware that they're in the papers for if they need documentation or whatever, they're online. So thank you.
Thanks very much, Deputy Mayor. I believe Councillor Deneen, you're on that committee as well? Dash, isn't it the February 1st? Is that right?
Thank you. Yeah, so our deputy clerk is the staff liaison. So February 1st is when they open. They have a month to submit their applications. And then the next second intake is in September. It opens up.
Very good. All right, council. There's nothing further. The bylaw to confirm. Bylaw to confirm. Our recommendation be it resolved bylaw 24-12 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the January 29th, 24 council meeting be presented or read our first, second, and third time finally passed on the 29th day of January 2024. Mr. Beelan, Mr. MacArthur, thank you. All in favor? And the bylaw carries. Thank you. And council, at the motion to adjourn, I just want to acknowledge that council again will continue to meet here at the Stainer Community Center, North Hall. And we will be here until such time as the renovations are complete. At this time, we do not have a completion date, but as you heard earlier in the meeting, we'll be working with Baz and with Sasha and with our CAO to find out how we're doing there as far as completion as to when we can actually move in there. In the meantime, we'll see you all in New Lowell for Winterama. What's it? Winterama Willie is waiting to see you. Is that right, Marty? Okay. Madam Clerk, our time will be 6:28. How's that? 6:28. Be it resolved, the council meeting will be adjourned at 6:28. I'll move by Mr. Broderick and seconded by Ms. Deneen. Thank you. All those in favor. Thank you very much. Good night, and thank you everyone for being here.